Welcome everybody to another episode in this great show, Factual Actual, uh, with my son Dwayne Jr. And we've been very enthusiastic about what has taken place, especially last week, well, the last broadcast, and when we had Ariel, and I was very enlightened by it, and I'm sure we want to keep up with that program. Uh, and we want to introduce what we're going to be talking about for the next couple shows, and that's about being socially aware. And hopefully, we'll have clips and other resource material for you to look at. And I think we're getting into the meat of what this program is all about. And of course, I'm very proud to be a part of my son's program, Dwayne, and what he's tried to do. I'm very proud of him because this is taking shape. And without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to him and let him say his hellos to everybody.
Hello, everyone. How are y'all doing today? Um, it's a new year. This will be our first recording into the new year, and I just want to wish everyone, you know, happy New Year. You know, basically according to what they say, New Year, and it's wild. I feel funny even saying Happy New Year when I know that. It's just because somebody said it was that don't mean that mean it is. So and that's kind of what we're going to get into today. And oh man, but first, hello everyone, and I hope y'all had it to the start of this new year. I hope it's great. I hope everyone is blessed. Um, we're going to start this year off with something that needs to be said, and we need to talk about social awareness. What I call the Roman Circus. It's not what I call it. It is what it is. It's the Roman Circus has been around since since the Romans, right? But
Yeah.
they happen to pick it up from somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And it's basically been a way that they've been able to entertain us. They've been able to. Let me say this. I've heard this, and I just want everybody to know entertainment, right? If you break the word down, the first part is enter. That means to enter. You know what I'm saying? And then the next part of the word is tame, and tame means to grab or hold. You know, and then the last part of it is meant. That's mine. So entertainment is meant to enter, grab, and hold your mind. So so I just want that so y'all to have that, you know what I'm saying, as we go through this and we talk about entertainment. So basically, the Romans gave people entertainment so that so they had your mind and you couldn't see all the foul things that they were doing. And that's the Roman circus, and that's going to be the first part of this, and that's what we're going to get into. Is we're going to get into the Roman circus, entertainment, Coliseum, NFL, NHL, boxing, baseball,
Theater,
World Series,
movie,
theater, that Marvel joint that's coming out next week, uh, news, the weather, the entertainment that they have put upon us to come and enter and hold our mind. That's the Roman circus, and that's what we're going to get into today. So, you ready, pops?
I'm ready.
You've been ready,
I was born into oppression, son. I'm ready to
you
talk about
know,
all its many evil forms.
and it's in many evil forms. So, I to start with it, you know what I'm saying. You mentioned oppression, you know what I'm saying. So, a lot of people ask, how do they get away with oppression, right? Well, here enters the Roman Circus. You know what I'm saying? They give you other things. They put the masses mind somewhere else. So while they're doing these heinous things and oppressing us, we are worried about who the next Wembley Cup finals is and why Tiger hit the ball so good. You know what I'm saying? If we was to go today, but this is something that systematically that has been done since the beginning that I could track it back to. That this has always been, this is how they've done it. So they will take this and you know it's wrong, but they'll give you a fake thing that's so much wronger for you to draw your entertainment. You know, like a movie. You know what I'm saying? You know, you still don't know how you're gonna pay your bills, but goddamn, that new Matrix movie's coming out. You know what I'm saying? It's took control of your mind. It's grabbed hold of your mind. It's entered in control of your mind when really you need to be, how am I going to do? You know what I'm saying? How am I going to pay the rent? So, what's your take on it? People say I talk too much, so I want to get other people take on this. So I'm just, you know,
Well, on the show today, it's just you and me so far, and so that gives us a lot of latitude uh, for us to speak at length about certain things and not infringe upon anybody else. But I want to get in on this. Distracting is just a form of distracting. I I you know when you are in dire straits, when you are in a bad way and you feel helpless, basically it has gotten beyond your control. An individual is going to seek out something that they do have some control over and try to find something to numb or to distract them from the situation that they're in. And we're going to focus on sports entertainment apparently today. And that's been a great tool since, way back when. And like you said, before the Romans, the social
I,
ills, that are put upon us that we have to endure uh, to be able to escape that pain, that suffering, that misery. The majority of people are going to do it. Basically, they're going to willingly be a part of the matrix because it's so hopeless outside of it. So, sports for a lot of people, that's a great, as they say, pastime to get away from, you know, the drudgery of life.
well, I do want to comment on something you said. So you mentioned the escape, the escape away, Uh, well, maybe not the escape. So let me just go into what I'm saying. Let's just do it that way. So what you remind me of the military, and I remember when I was in, and what they would do is make it seem like you could not survive without them. You know what I'm saying? So not to deal on that, but I know a lot because I did it. But this is what they do in business. I've known fast food restaurants even when I worked in. They make it seem as though you can't make it if you ain't got them. And that's part of it. And no, this is not part. This is what they do. And I but you know countless people that have been job to job to job to job, and then you let's be honest, you got an uncle that ain't shit, but he keep a job. So how is it possible that you got to keep your job at McDonald's or Sonic Drive-In or Pizza Hut when your uncle flip flopping them from there and he ain't got nothing but a GED? You know what I mean? If that, to be honest. So this corporate system, this circus, it's vast. You know what I'm saying? Even in your day to day, you know, they make it like a need. Like you need to have that time in front of that damn television, in front of that box to relax. How ridiculous does that really sound to you? Think about that now. You need that time to sit in front of the black box so that you can unwind.
And be indoctrinated further
Yeah.
to be willingly
You want to
allow.
go be entertained. You want them to go take your mind, you know?
But behind that, the subliminal is continuing to propagate the myth. You know,
Yes.
I tell you one. Let's just use this. My uncle used to share this with me all the time, and that is the lottery. It boasts all these things, okay? But what it is, pure and simple, lowest common denominator is it is a voluntary tax. You voluntarily pay this tax. Now, the chances of you actually making a fortune is it's almost, nothing. But you will, of your hard-earned money, go and buy into the lottery. And what you're doing is paying a tax because the money is used by your government to pay for this, that, or the other, or so they say. Now, that's a whole nother subject, but so they say. And what you're doing is saying, okay, this is not a tax you have to take out of my check. This is a tax I'm paying willingly.
Yes. So I, I well, it doesn't matter. So that's now we get into no, we're not gonna go there. We're not yet. You know what I'm saying? I what pops, I got so much. Oh my God. What you got up there?
I just
I
want to
see you
say
flash.
I'm drinking purified water, and I
Yeah.
already put my order in for alkaline water. It should be here Tuesday, and I ordered a
Yeah.
whole lot of alkaline water to start drinking. So just
I
to
hear
see
you.
the influence that you and Ariel got on me, but
Athariel, by the way. Hold on.
Ariel,
Athariel. Yeah, that's my baby.
Ariel,
Hey,
I
I
was
promote.
I I couldn't get the alkaline that easily, but I could go right out to the store and get the purified. So I'm drinking
Yeah.
purified water. It may not be,
Hey,
but it's a start. Okay.
every I you told me a long time ago. We talked about this, and you told me you got it. You said you came up with what it was. You said, son, I give me a little bit of time so I can explain this to you. But what I'm gonna tell you is that less is more. And we didn't have a lot of time on it. It's been over a year, and I've been it's been on my mind. You know what I'm saying? I take in what you say, and it is a very profound statement because the less poison you put in, the more
Life.
you can, the more life, the more productive you can be. It is so vast. So don't compound the poisons. You know what I mean? So it look, if it's bad water, you don't need to be drinking. You know, you can cut back on that. You know, so if you can just cut out the water, you've got less of some toxin in you that you've been keep accumulating, and therefore you're finding yourself being able to process more, and you can find other things that you can do less of with. You know what I'm saying? You find out, hey, I I just did it with money. You know what I'm saying? I found out I made a couple of mistakes. You know what I mean? And though I am not hurting for money per se, I I move money around where I ain't have no money available to me at the moment. You know, a very small amount of funds. You know, and when I weighed it out, I found out that if I just cut out this, and this, I was able to manage. It was crazy. We were talking about in the hundreds of dollars a day. You know, I like to go out and eat and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So you talking about doing that a couple times a week? That's in the hundreds. You know, so to cut back on that and still eat and have a good time, and it's less turns out to be a whole lot more in ways you couldn't even imagine.
Well, let's bring that up. Let's stick with that one then. Okay. Because
Yeah.
this stuff that we're talking about permeates through all of society, but let's key in on that. Number one, and maybe in this country, for those people that live here, this is going to blow their minds, although other countries uh, already know this and never have forgotten it. But in this country, we eat too much, pure and simple. And this demand for food is so great that it has gotten individuals to optimize productivity of food. Well, that can only go so far being healthy. To meet the demand of food, certain individuals have uh, to mass produce to meet the need. Quality of the food source goes down. And the lowest common denominator is stop eating so much. Then
Hey,
there will be more than enough of healthy food for you to take.
I eat
Take
once a day.
Well, once a day, it doesn't matter. It's the amount you eat over the course of a day, right? If you eat 3 times a day, but it's only the amount that your 1 time a day is, you've not lost anything. Uh, the amount of good things you eat as opposed to the amount of bad things you eat. Well, just look, everything that can be sold in a capitalist society will be sold, right?
For sure.
Whatever can be sold will be. Speaking on this perspective on a spiritual level, there is in the Christian Bible where they talk about a time coming when things are going to be so intense that everything that can be shaken will be shaken. And if what you have, and we're talking spiritual things, if your spiritual life is shaky, you're going to fall. That's why I advocate, along with what my son advocates about a healthy body, I advocate a healthy mind. And I think they work together. A healthy body will help you house a healthy mind. And a healthy mind will encourage you to have a healthy body. They work hand in hand, all of which makes a righteous soul. Back to what we're saying. If it's weak, it's not going to sustain. And strong character, good judgment, all these spiritual aspects regardless to what's going on around you, if you have these things, healthy mind, healthy body, you will better sustain in the event of calamity. And that's all I'm trying to say. So uh, here's the capitalist mentality. And it goes like this: if we can sell it, we're going to sell it. And if you look into a capitalist society, there's very little in it that's not being sold. And if there is a profit to be made, to hell with the people involved. We are making a profit. And that's the hypocrisy that's in our nation that waves a Christian flag. There is what they say, and there is what they do, and they don't reconcile.
Look, so it's it's to be honest, I feel like it's beyond belief. It to me, I'm not that old, you know what I'm saying? I'm not that young, and I've lived, and I can't buy it. It's like I don't understand how I can't buy it and so many people can. If you understand what I mean, this hypocrisy, I see it, and it's beyond belief. And the fact that some people buy into it is, I can't even, I can only speculate that it has to do with the things that they see on that black box, the television. I cannot believe that they actually see these things out in the real world that they see on that black box. I don't think they're the same thing, you know.
We talk about indoctrination. In order
Okay.
to indoctrinate you, they have to get your mind in a certain place. They have to get your perception and your consciousness dull to the point that the indoctrination can take place. And the indoctrination takes place on so many levels from the moment that you're born. I used to say that from the moment that you're born, but it even starts now before you're being born. They are pumping the mothers with prenatal vitamins and these. It even starts before you're born, because in order to support the wealthy people in this society, and I'm talking about filthy rich people, there needs to be twice as many poor people. And the Bible even says that Jesus said, the poor you will always have with you. And people look at that, well, that's a Bible principle that you have poor. That's not what Jesus was saying. What Jesus is saying is, in a society that's so sick, there's going to always be somebody poor. And in order for, if you always have the poor with you, that means you're going to always have the stinking rich with you. And this is the whole of the matter. It's rich and it's poor. And all that between, middle class, black, white, immigrants, Muslim, Christian, all that is in there just to convolute what is actually going on in the world, and that is rich, poor. All this while we're in here in this Roman circus, as you say, while the Christians are fighting with the Muslims, and the Muslims are against the Sikhs, and the illegal immigrants are against this, and then favorable balances of trade and all this stuff is going on. Your mind has been taken, your mind has become dull and numb to what's actually taking place. And that is, there are people that are filthy rich living in ivory palaces and castles, and there are people that are living homeless in a society that's the richest that's ever been. Poverty is at its worst than it's ever been. So it all it's all going to come to rich and poor. But we can debate what's in between. That takes our mind off what's really going on. So this television is a tool of indoctrination to get you to buy into the capitalist, the American dream. I was looking at some figures just for this broadcast today, and that is how criminal is mortgages, how criminal is student debt, how criminal is the cost of housing. But we don't see it that way. We call homelessness the failure to achieve the American dream. I was looking at this and I'm just saying, because I have had a mortgage at a point in my life. In fact, I've had maybe a couple, but I didn't know. I just trying to have the American dream, home ownership, when what we should be pursuing in this society is property ownership, but that's a whole nother discussion. You pay interest on interest until your mortgage payment is paid off. And then they have all these tricks inside of a mortgage agreement and contract, all for the benefit of making somebody richer and someone else having to work even harder to meet that contractual obligation. The amount of money that a person pays at the end of their mortgage over what the principal amount of money borrowed is criminal. And they justify it by saying, loaning you the money, we take the risk. And because we take the risk, we ought to be allowed to rape you like we want to.
That's bullshit, though. They ain't got no risk. They ain't got no money. Here we go into the bullshit now, you know. They ain't got the money. What money? Money by who? They had to borrow the money to give you the money. The bank. The bank ain't got no money. They get it from the Federal Reserve. So who are they to say that they got to take a risk with you when they ain't got no money to be risking to give you in the first place? And they already owe the Federal Reserve X amount of goddamn dollars because they behind on their shit. Okay, now who is the Federal Reserve to say that they can say that because they ain't got no money? Where they get it from? What is the Federal Reserve backed on? Do you know? What is the Federal Reserve currency backed off of? IOUs? What?
And I want to put a pause right there. This is an example of what we're saying. We have closed our mind off to this evil. It is an evil, son. When you know, I know, and yet we do it. Why? Because everybody else is doing it. So this is just one of those things that we're talking about. To be socially aware of actually what's taking place. You have to be lullabied. You have to be hypnotized. You're in the matrix. And the ones that stay in the matrix are the majority of ones that don't know it's a matrix, but also those people that would rather just be in the matrix and not worry about all the other stuff. They would rather find other ways in which to be able to swallow the lies and the hypocrisy that we have to endure day in and day out. And if you are not rich, if you are not wealthy, then you are poor and you are suffering and you don't even know it.
I agree. I'm going to say that I agree with that wholeheartedly. I'll go a step farther and say that if you rich, you might not be. If you think, here's the better term. If you think you rich, you poor, and you don't even know it. I go us to that far because $1 million ain't nothing no more. Nor has it ever been, but that's the illusion. They keep making up these numbers and keep adding these zeros. Do y'all understand that a zero is still a zero and it's only a placeholder? So they can keep adding these zeros to this computer code for they transactions and say, ooh, okay, now you're in the billions. You know what I'm saying? But I swear to you, you cannot eat that computer code. That look, it cannot feed you. When the electricity go off, them ones and zeros can't feed you.
Well, that what you just said takes me all the way back to our opening statement, and that is about the new year. No such thing. And yet everybody believes it. But there is no such thing. We exist and we're in a moment. That's actual. That's go to any mathematician, go to which most of that stuff is theoretical anyway. It's yet to be proved, but it looks good on paper. But what's a new year? Where? Here? If it's only a new year here, then what is it every place else? Albert Einstein said it's relative. Hell,
Well,
it's whatever we want to make it
w-
out and get enough
well,
people.
you get enough people to believe it. Yeah, it'll be so. Is that what you was trying to say? Because that's what it's. Anyway, what I wanted to say about that was that you know, I would say in my best hypothesis, it would be more like a cycle because we have seasons. We have hot and colds. We have lukewarms and kind of chilies. These four seasons. You know what I'm saying? But they seem to be in a loop and they seem to keep happening. So I would say that we're in a loop would be a better analogy for me as opposed to one moment. I would say we're in one loop. And I would say that the loop grows. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna
But
debate that. The
of
things
course you
around
are.
the material universe may be in a loop, but you are not Dwayne Jr. You are not in nobody's damn loop. You are. You exist. You have chosen to make your existence full of a lot of things, and that's your choice. But you're not looping shit. Oops, excuse me. You're not looping anything.
Yeah.
The things around you may be looping. I give you maybe a cycle, it may be it. But at the end of this cycle, you are not dead and you are not
Wait.
restarted. You didn't die, you didn't restart, you're not swallowing your tail, none of that.
No, 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 no. I don't believe that at all. I was referring to the things around me happen in a loop. I was just trying to, as opposed to that, as far as me, I am me. I am all that there is, you know. For me, anything beyond me is nothing, to be honest. Once there is not me, there is not anything else in the world that I live in. So as long as I be, everything else will be.
Well,
I am eternal.
basic theory, physical theory, you know, you know, matter cannot be destroyed. Energy cannot be destroyed. It just can't happen. That goes against everything that's a part of you. At some points or another in your life, you are in different phases, you know. That's true, you know. But to be absolutely honest about this big old huge multiverse, what's the truest of all things is you are. And that's it. The body that you have, you know, let's just say in theory, is going to change forms, you know, and the consciousness, the mental you, it may choose another place to reside, but you've always been here. You'll always be here. That makes you as eternal as anything else that the creator made. You are as eternal as he is because you are a constituent in who he is. And it's not that we're so small, it's not that we're so big, it's just that we are. And I believe that the creator makes things perfect. And and I think he makes us perfectly suited for the task and the purpose that we have in this phase of our existence. So, uh, when it boils down to this, if you are hurting and you are hurting because someone else has chosen to hurt you, then the truth of the matter is you are miserable unless you choose to stop that person from hurting you. And what has happened is we are being brainwashed into allowing people to hurt us. And we feel like there's nothing that we can do about it. The better way says there is something you can be about. Just because you were born into oppression doesn't mean you have to finish out your course here in oppression. If you allow the creator to free your mind, you will not be oppressed by anybody. And I know that's going off script, but I'm going back to time. Time is a necessary illusion for people with power to oppress us. Do you remember having watched the new Matrix?
I haven't seen the new Matrix parts.
Well, I'm going to put in, this is a comic relief in this part, but there was something from the second Matrix, I believe, either Matrix Reloaded, or it was in Matrix Revolution. I can't, but it's whether Merovingian is talking. I think it's the second one. Yeah, it's the one with, yeah, it's the second one. where they come in and talk about choice. And the Merovingian says, look, man, choice is just something that people with power tell people with no power that they have.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the illusion of choice is the if it was one that, a lot of people went into the matrix and they got a lot of things out of it. And the thing I got out of the matrix was that clicked with me was the illusion of choice. And that I'm being real. And it's the illusion of choice. To think that you have a choice is probably the greatest weapon they have. The fact that you think you're actually choosing something of your own free will and volition, and you're not. You're the farthest thing from it. And having an eye opening to that is probably that was probably the change to my life as far as the matrix go and what I got from it. You know what I'm saying? Don't believe that you just necessarily choosing some shit because you chose it. There are some times that this happens, but when you go in the grocery store, you're not necessarily buying some shit because you chose it. I guarantee it. I mean, I have to put products on certain shelves for certain reasons. Some shit for the children need to be at their level. You know what I mean? and it's gotta have Hello Kitty on it. You know what I'm saying? How dare you put it way up there where that child can't see it? You know, uh, you know, the San Francisco treat got a fucking the rice-a-ronis and shit got a top shelf. You know what I mean? So it's right there, but some far better for shit from you is it's 5 shelves down. Well, according to the label, let me put that out there. I'm gonna be fair. According to the label. So here we get into illusion of choice. So according to the label, you made the choice to take the better, more expensive one down at the bottom, but it's the same shit. They came out the same factory. I think Nestle made all that shit. Nestle and Mars. I thought Mars made candy bars. Now they make baby formula too. So it's so you think you
Basically, you
choosing,
were
but
told before you ever left home what you needed to get. It was told you that you should eat something unhealthy, and you go in and you choose which unhealthy thing you're going to eat.
yeah, true.
But really, it's the same old unhealthy thing.
It's one of those things is like milk, right? We've had our talks about milks, but I'm gonna keep it simple, right? If your mother, the mother of you, produces milk for you, you should probably drink it because she produced it for you. If a cow, goat, sheep, orangutan, or any other animal, mammal, or whatever produces milk, I'm pretty sure they produced it for their offspring and not you. That's just being real. So when you go in there and try to pick out your best milk, you're not making a choice in truth. You actually just picking lesser of each evils because really none of it's for you. And that's just milk. I don't, and you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you, I don't drink milk, but that's a lie. And I'm gonna tell you why. But I'm not gonna say that. This is what somebody would normally say in this situation is that I don't drink milk. But let me tell you something. Because of what dairy is, it's damn near in everything. So though I may not have a glass of milk, I am still getting dairy put in my body somewhere else. So
Well,
so there's an illusion of choice. Huh?
well, from the don't there's a difference in taking a glass of quote homogenized vitamin D and drinking it and putting that in some bread and cooking it. There is a difference in that. Cheese, cheese in its original form and cheese what has been processed to be, they're different. Now, I'm not condoning any of them. That's not what I'm saying. But you do have to look at, if we go all the way back to the very, 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 very beginning, uh, maybe we shouldn't eat anything but what is of vegetable sentience. But we're not at the very beginning. We're here. And I don't drink milk, and I'm not putting it on a sounding board as if, that's something I can stick my chest out about. No. I don't drink milk because it's sickening to me. And it makes me sick to think about it. Now, I can't go and say I don't drink milk. I don't drink milk. Well, really, it makes me sick. So, you know, nothing for me to boast about. Well, there are a lot of things in this life that I don't do just because it has an adverse effect on me, and I'm not bragging about that. And I just want to bring up this point. I was told that we are the only species that once we've been weaned, that we return to milk. We're the only species to do that, according to what one source said. So I guess in a roundabout way, I guess what I'm getting at is naturally, which is what we advocate on this broadcast. There are a lot of things that we do are just not natural. And we do it without even thinking about it because we have been indoctrinated into doing it. Okay. We accept in this country a system of government that says it's a democracy when we all know that it is run by the corporations and CEOs of this country. They make the rules. The golden rule is at play. The man with the gold makes the rules. And I see it all the time. I see, I saw the other day, my wife had me watch this. We had this little bitty girl from here who dresses like, acts like, everything, the Queen of England. And I told my wife, I said, now that I see things, we celebrate, we celebrate the wealth, the decadence, and the power of a queen when we have none ourselves. We celebrate people who reach $1 billion. They become billionaires or millionaires. We celebrate that, hey, when we can't even pay our bills, and yet we're celebrating them doing that. So the indoctrination is so deep that we have left natural phenomenon, which is what occurs naturally. We do unnatural stuff, man.
That we're not one with nature. That's for sure. So, pops. So here's the question. You know what I'm saying? We here at Factual Actual also advocate a better way. So though, so how what's the better way? So knowing that this is going on, how do we help our how do we help our people? How do we help get them out of the matrix? Given that we have this elaborate Roman circus or entertainment, NFL, eating too much, even that, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The indoctrination. What can we give anyone listening out here? What would be a better way? What would be a good start? Anything.
Well, well, I'm going to say what I've always said, being who I am and what I have experienced, and that is the first thing you do. This is not something that's going to, you're going to eliminate, if ever in your life, but you can do better. You start with your creator. I believe that there is a divine power that governs all of existence. And when you are behaving contrary to that divine origin, you have problems in your walk, in your life. I think the first thing to do is to find a place within yourself to say, look, God, I've been walking around like I'm my God, and I've been making some bad choices. I've been doing some bad things, and really didn't think I was doing anything bad, and didn't think I was doing anything unnatural. In fact, I was going cool till, these folks on Factual Actual got me to thinking about some things, and I started realizing, hey, really deep down, I'm not that happy. You know, Creator of the universe, let me connect with you finally. How do I connect with you? And the first thing he would say, if I can speak for him, and he's saying, start being thankful for what you do have. And if you take out 60 seconds a day, start with 60 seconds a day, thanking him for what you know to be a blessing in your life, it starts there. And as you grow that relationship, you begin to find things in your life that you can do without that are really not making you happy. What they're doing is propagating and continuing, perpetuating a less than privileged existence that you could have with him. Free your mind, start freeing your mind. And as you free your mind, you're going to see ways to renew your body, start making it healthier. And what you'll find at the end of a year, let's just say a year, just an arbitrary number, you'll find that you can do a whole lot better with less than what you thought. And that less is more when it comes to your spiritual well being, when it comes to your physical well being. Less is more. So we start on the better way by just turning to our creator and saying, hey, let me connect with you. Let me, let me, let me show me how to align myself with you and your purpose for me. And as you see your purpose, you realize that you were perfectly made. And I guarantee the more that your creator comes into your being, and I'm speaking body and mind, the more he comes in, the happier, the better you do and you feel. That's my advice. That's coming from Dwayne Peterson Sr. You start with that. And you might focus on closing out our show because in Deutschland, it's probably really, 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 really late. And it's really, really early over here in Texas where I am. So I'm gonna let my son get some sleep.
Yeah,
So
it's
with the
I just
minute
looked
we
at the
have left, with the minute we have left, I'm gonna let my son send us out with a blessing.
okay. Everyone, be true to yourself. Be true to the person that you are, and humble yourself, and become one with your creator, and start realizing the things that are around you that appear on that black box and that radio, the television and everything. It's just it's there to distract you. It's not real. Live, live for you, not for what's on that black box. You are perfect. Everyone in this world is perfect to themselves. He couldn't have made it a better way.
I have to agree with that 100%, son. So you all be blessed. Make your existence wonderful. Let the Creator's light shine in you, and and pray every chance you get. Thank Him and ask Him to lead you.